All right, so it's Friday 7th. Came home around 2, got some Chick-fil-A, ate, and I got this new monitor. I should really show it, but I'm not. I play Xbox, I play Warzone, and for Christmas, by chance they had an Xbox at Target. So my friend's dad called him. Then my friend called me. He's like, "Hey, they're hard to get. They're really hard to get." And so I went to get one, and they had it, so I got it, and that's what I got myself for Christmas. And then, dude, my cat sits on it. Like, I would show you, but she's up there. I'm gonna turn it off. It's on because it's a habit to turn on. Anyways, and because I got the new Xbox, I didn't even, the Xbox I had wasn't even mine. This is my friend's. This is my second friend's. I've had like 3 Xboxes because I don't, sometimes I play, sometimes I don't. So I had like a really old Xbox. So now I got a new Xbox. It's the first Xbox I bought since like 2008 or something. It's the 360. And that might have been a Christmas gift for my parents. And and so obviously, apparently it runs way better. So you can use it with a better screen. I had an old monitor that my brother gave me. So that's a hand-me-down. So like I don't have stuff. So anyways, because I have this now, I was like, oh, let me upgrade my monitor. So now I have the monitor here at home, and I was gonna buy an extra set of. If you saw my desk tour video yesterday, of what I just brought everything home because I was gonna buy an extra set of everything so that I have one at home and one at work. But it's like, dude, I already go everywhere with the backpack. Just put the stuff in the backpack and go, and do it like that. Like why not do it like that? So anyways, that I'm just excited to be here. Like I used to work from home, and it's been a while. It hasn't been the whole year because I think at the office I'm in right now, which is headquarters in Houston, Texas, like East Downtown. I've been there maybe 3 months, October, November, December. So I'm going on 4 months now. But before that, I was you could say renting a room from or doing trade for a room. Like I would do work in exchange for space. So weird. At some acquaintance business associate that I have, and I was there since like July. So July, August, September, October, November, December, January. So 6 months. It's been 6 months, and I don't really work from home ever. So I don't really work from home ever. So like and then I removed my desk. Like I took the desk to the office. The offices, so this wasn't here, and then I got another desk over there that they let me have because it was just sitting around. And it's like way bigger than the one I had, but it's not that much bigger now that I'm looking at it. So then I brought this home, and now I have this desk, and it's just pretty cool. And then it's like you think like, okay, well, why do I have an office home and then over there, and it's just me? It's like, why am I doing that? But then I think about it, I'm like, wait a minute. I just really enjoy having a place to go, like keeping everything apart, everything separate, and clients and random phone calls, and I'm just excited. It's really cool. Again, I had Chick-fil-A, so. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about like I was driving to a client yesterday. They had an event. It's a wellness clinic center, you can call it. And they had like an event to help people like lose weight, cleanse, stuff like that, detoxify, whatever you want to call it. And it was cool. Like everyone's really nice. Everybody seemed like all the intentions were good. It felt like and the client, they got a website with us. We haven't really started yet. They they emailed me. They asked me like, hey, you should really come to see so that you can see what our tribe is like, what our customers are like. I was like, that's cool. I mean, somebody invites. I don't have to go, but I actually feel somewhat, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel somewhat not honored, but like that's a very nice gesture, even if it is just. I genuinely thought like they wanted me to check it out, and so I did. And so I drove over there, and then I drove back. The event was cool. So like they're just trying to get people to get fit, not fit, get eat better, make better food choices. Basically, that's the thing. And I actually kind of agreed with a lot of how they do it. So it's basically cutting out all carbs, all sugars, alcohol, caffeine. And it's like, yeah, those are all good things. And eat, mainly vegetables. The weird thing is like they don't eat protein for the first 10 days. That was kind of weird, but nothing about it was so strange. And I've read books on like food, and like I know like a lot of different diets because I like trying with them. So like I just kind of, not that I really know what I'm talking about because I don't. They're the experts, but I was just kind of like cross referencing, and like I was like, yeah, I would do it if one were so inclined. So what minute are we at? 5 minutes. We haven't gotten started. So anyways, I met the clients there. They haven't moved forward with the project, and it's a website project. And so on the way back, when I was driving back, I was like, you know what? I wonder if like they think, should we even really get this website? Because like sometimes people get excited and they're like, first that's just that question, like, should I get a website? And I was thinking like, well, should you get a website? So that's kind of what I want to base this video about. And obviously this is way more like businessy. Some of the other ones are like more just not businessy. But I saved the thinking process so that I wouldn't think about it until this very moment. So like I just like somewhat glanced my brain yesterday, or it just passed through, and I was like, no, I want to not think about it, and I want to think about it on the spot, and I want to go through the thought process because that's just what I want to do. So I've held this thought within me for the last like 12 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours, something like that. 16. Let's call it 12. And I'm using my MacBook camera, so sorry about that. I should get a camera like I want to. So the question is, should you get a website from the perspective of a business owner, right? So should you get a website? Oh, no, that wasn't the question. The question was, do I need a website? That's the question. Do I need a website? So I'm just going to think through it. So I'm a business owner. Do I need a website? Not me. I'm thinking as a business owner. That's not Symphony Advertising. Do I need a website? Well, no. You don't need a website. You don't need a website. So I guess the question is like, what do you understand about a website? And what is it that your overall goal is? And why are you even thinking about getting a website? Like, so, okay, do I need a website? I guess the correct answer is, well, it depends. It depends. Do I need a website? It depends. I can say it depends. It depends on what? Okay, so we're getting somewhere. It depends on what? Okay, so let's add some details here. So let's say this person, you have several kinds of businesses. You have people who are just getting started. You have people who have been in business for 5 to 10 years, and you have businesses that have been around for 20, 25 years. Each one of these are going to get a different answer. So just going to walk through them. Let's start with you're starting off a business. You've specifically have had something you want to do. You're competent enough to do the business, and you want to start off. So do I need a website as that person? No, you don't need the website. You really don't. Is it a nice to have? Yes. But do you actually need it? Do you need it? No. But the question is, if you're not going to get a website, that's one of the many things you don't have to do. But what is going to be your strategy in order to sell people in this new business that you're starting? And how are you going to get them to become customers? So let's just very generally say you're a local service, because that's pretty common. Like, let's not go with like some kind of mining of the Bitcoin or nothing like that, or like something crazy. Like just some general businesses like are going to be your standard small businesses, like your local services, like your doctors, like your lawyers, like lawn mowing, like roofing, flooring, food, restaurants, food trucks. Let's think in those videographers, photographers, detailing companies, real estate agents, things like that are like, they're kind of local. You're not, it's not e-commerce. You're not buying stuff online. You're not creating a product. Don't eat that. She's biting the cables. So no, you don't need you don't need a website. But the question is, how are you going to get people to know who you are? So the very first way you're going to know how to, my thinking is the way you're going to get people to become customers is you're going to go to your, this is actually advice as well, or like a suggestion, actually, not advice, suggestion. Like, go to your network, whether it's like, your family, like physically, your friends physically, and say, hey, I just started a business for this. I'm going to take detailing. I really am. Can I wash your car? Can I do the interior of your car? And so you're going to do that. And that's a very, very good way of getting started. Okay. So there's that. But at some point, you're going to run out of people to talk to, right? Like, you're only going to have, I don't know, at best 200 people that you can reach out to and say, hey, do you want to use this, right? And out of those 200 people, at best, let's say 10 of them at best actually know you well and actually would like to do business with you and actually are in the need to get their car cleaned, right? Like, it's not like everybody. You could be a very, it could be my best friend and I do anything to support, but if my so-called best friend is selling roofing material, well, I don't have a house, so like, what do you I'm not gonna buy a product that I can't that I don't need. So you're gonna run out, right? So okay, so then what happens? So you get your 10 customers, then you start getting referrals, right? Like, let's say you do get 10 people to they agree, like, hey, yeah, I'll give you a shot. You do get 10 people, you charge whatever amount you can charge. Maybe you do it for free, and then you have 10 customers. Those 10 customers can now refer their friends, and it kind of diminishes, right? So like, from those 10, you're not going to get all 10 of them to refer you somebody. They most likely, none of them are. And so you're stuck in a position where, like, okay, well, now what do I do? Okay. So the next thing you can think about is like, well, the next obvious choice is you don't want to spend too much money. This is assuming, again, this is for like a starting off business. Usually when you're starting a business, you want to keep the expenses low. Like, you don't want to start a $50,000 advertising budget when you start your business. And even a $5,000 budget when you want to start your business is kind of a lot, because that's $60,000 a year in advertising. Like, I haven't came across those types of startups, right? Usually that would be more in the 5, 10, 15 year mark. Not even, I would say like 10 plus years. Even more. Like, usually they, even businesses that have been around for 30 years, when you talk to them, like, dude, we have like $200 a month. Like, so it's kind of rare to find big budgets like that. Especially if you have like a service-based business, like, it just eats it up. So it's not that easy to be spending money like that. So the next obvious step, in my opinion, would be to... somebody here? That's the only thing. So the next obvious thing is... I'm literally checking if my lady's going to pull up. Which I would just keep going, because, I just got to keep this thing going. The next thing that I would say, the next obvious thing that I would say is a person naturally nowadays in 2022, Happy New Year's, is they're going to go into social media. So what does that entail? Facebook, Instagram, that's about it. Like, most people aren't going to use, or at least not successfully use Twitter, because all it is word of mouth or your network online. That's it. It's like, it's not that big of a reach. From the first one, it's just, you might know 200 people physically, but you probably know like 5 times that amount digitally, just because it works out that way. Like, I probably interact physically with, I don't know, not that many people, but on Instagram I have like 1,000 something people, and it's like, I couldn't, and then it's funny, just a quick side note is like, I got a referral for a good client, and the way they found me was I sold tickets one time on Instagram. Like, I said, hey, I have some tickets for sale if anybody wants to buy them. Some lady hit me up, she got them, and we had mutual friends, so I added her, and we were messaging because of getting the tickets. And it turns out she's been watching my stuff for the last like 4 years, and a law firm that needed help they asked a guy who worked there, and that guy who worked there asked his friend, which is the mutual thing we have here. She said, "Oh, hey, you should ask that guy," which was me. So the guy called me, and it's like, dude, I've spoken to this lady for like, for a long time. It's like years, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And it, that's the power of social media, right? Like, it's like almost like you build a reputation online. Like, that's what social media is. But as you can see, that took 4 years to make, $1,000. 4 years away. So it's like, you can't really, you can't really count on that. And there's faster ways of doing it, right? Like sometimes I'll post something and somebody will just respond that I know, and they're like, "Hey, actually, I work at this place, and I'm looking to get a website done. I'm looking to get marketing done." And so that's the next natural part, right? So then let's talk about, how do you increase your chances of selling somebody that kind of knows you but doesn't, right? Do I need a website? Well, no, you don't. Why? Because you have a network of people. Why you don't need one is because you have social media and you can reach out to people. And then, it kind of goes about what content are you posting? What are you saying? Is it engaging? Is it this and that? So like, no, you still don't need a website, but what is your goal, right? If you're a detailing company, your number one goal, I would think, is to clean as many cars as possible, I would say. Obviously, you got to have the right people. You got to have the right training. You got to have all the equipment. You got to have all that stuff too. But I think the point of the business is to get customers, to sustain you personally if you're starting off, and B, the business itself. So now we're getting to a point where, like, okay, I've exhausted everybody I know, and I've exhausted my social media from an organic perspective. What is the next thing that I could do in order to get more people in? So I would say naturally the next thing to do is to run some kind of ads on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook and Instagrams used to be the bomb back in like 2012, 2014. You could do anything. At one point, I was working at a place and we were selling cars. We were selling like 20, 25 cars via Facebook ads, doing post engagement ads. All we would do is we would take a tracking number. We would say, hey, and they had a ridiculous deal. It was like $500 down to get a car, but they were like not the best cars. But all you do is $500 to get this car. We put a tracking number, so anytime somebody called that number, it would we were able to hear the phone calls because it was a tracking number. That's what the point is all about. And then therefore we can confirm that the marketing is working, and therefore we can confirm, hey, was this sold? Anyways, we would put $500 down, call this number, and then we would just throw like 40 pictures of their inventory, and people would call and call and call and call. And I think at the time we were spending like, it was not even that much money. It was like, between the whole time we were doing that for like a year, it was like $1,000 to $2,000 a month. At some point, I think it got to $4,000. Because it kept working. But we were selling cars via Facebook ads. Like, it was that easy. Now you can't do that. Like, it's just way harder. You can do that, but the cost of ads have gone up. Anyways, the point is, it's still affordable enough where like you can take $5 a day and say, hey, I want to target everybody who lives in Houston that we detail cars, and then you can get more targeted. But the targeting has also changed. So like you used to be able to put owners of, so like you can say owners of Toyotas, owners of Jaguars, owners of Teslas, owners of brands like that. Or you could say owners of a sedan, owners of, and now it's been really reduced. So you have to kind of get clever with like what it is. So like maybe you could say, I want to target people who are homeowners, because if they're homeowners, most likely they own a car. I want to target people who are over the age of 24, because most likely in Houston they're gonna have to have a car. But then the idea is like, well, who's gonna want to take care of the car? But anyways, you can do a decent job of targeting people for a very low amount a day, so $5 a day. I don't want to pause this on accident. You could do $5 a day for, this can't be longer than 30 minutes. I gotta stop it. 5 times 30, So that's $150. So that's still super manageable. So you can reach a good amount of people. But here's where it starts to get even more interesting. It's like, okay, I can show an ad and I can tell people, hey, we detail cars. Here's a video of it. Here's a picture of it. Call us today. Like, you can say that. But you have now at this point, they're strangers. Now at this point, they don't know who you are. At this point, they just see an ad, just like when you see a commercial. And it's a new business, right? So like if you go, I've seen this before, I forgot. If you go, let's say you go to your friend's party, not party. Let's say you go to your friend's house and you know their family, right? And you walk in and you know them for 10 years, and you walk in and you know the mom, the dad, the brother, the sister. Let's leave it at that. Like you feel comfortable when you go in there, and you can go and be normal. But if you go in there and then there's like a random dude that is a different ethnicity, that's dressed funny, and that speaks a different language, you go in there and you're like, I don't know what that, I don't know who that person is. Like that's an extreme version, but like that's the same thing if you want somebody to buy your shoe. Like, let's say you create a shoe, but it's not Nike, it's not Adidas, it's not Reebok, it's not New Balance, it's a new brand of shoe. It's like, well, I knew the mom, the dad, the brother, the sister, but what is that? Get that away from me, because that's like the natural reaction to do whenever you sorry. That's the natural reaction you get whenever when you see something new. It's like, first you're kind of scared about it, or it's like, I don't want to buy that. I have what I like. And in this case, most people, okay, so in the detailing world, it's like people probably don't get a full interior cleaning every day, but they probably get a car wash maybe every month. So like the frequency of the service matters too, right? A real estate agent, you're not going to buy a house every single day, right? You're not going to buy a house every 4 years. You're probably going to buy a house every, I don't know, once a lifetime, depending, right? Obviously, this is it depends, but for the most part, it's a slow cycle in real estate. Whereas if you're buying food, that's like a very, very high frequency of getting food. So damn it, where was I? So we were at running ads, social media, detailing cars. You want the car detailed. This is what I get for texting. You want the car detailed. Running Facebook ads, Instagram ads, real estate agents, frequency. I'm not gonna rewind this. Anyways, the point is that when you get to the point where you're starting to deal with strangers, it's going to take, you're just showing them a picture, an image. There's nothing else you can show them. So do I need a website? Well, maybe at this point you might need it. So why would you might need it? It's because there's several reasons here. So like when you're dealing with complete strangers, they need to make sure that you aren't a scammer, that you aren't a bad product. It's similar to like, I'm going to use a restaurant. Like if you walk into a restaurant and there's people eating there and you smell good food and there's a lady in the front that sits you down and they have menus and the lights are on and, you pay like you normally pay, you leave that of the experience saying, assuming the food's okay, you would say, hey, that was a fine experience. Like you probably don't even think about that. But if you go into that, that's, a restaurant and you go in and there's no tables, or there's only a couple tables and the menu's like all poorly laid out, and nobody sat you down and you had to bring your own fork, and people were mean and the food was very strange, you go in there and you're like, what was that? Like, you probably wouldn't even sit down. You'd walk right out. The point I'm trying to make is you have to have certain things in place to people to even give you a chance. And so do I need a website? Well, if your goal is to get customers that are strangers, customers that are new customers, also existing customers, because an existing customer that comes, there's more reasons to this, but let me not get into that. If your number one goal, especially if you're a new company, we'll stick to just a new company because this is way too long. Yeah. if you're a new company, you have to you have to have new customers. Let's say you're the detailing business, you've already exhausted everyone, you exhausted all your social media people, and now you've upped your budget to $15 a day, and you're hopefully getting some calls because you did good targeting. Well, what do you do next? Okay, aside from doing a retargeting campaign, because you got to do that if you're running any kind of ads, but you actually can't. Why? Because you don't have a website. So here's where you might need a website. Here's maybe where you start saying, okay, I need a website. So so they see that you have a Instagram, they see that you have a Facebook. What else do they have? So hopefully you have enough content for them to get an idea of what you do, what you are. But the problem is you can't. There's no easy way of you going to that Instagram page or that Facebook page and kind of getting a full understanding of what it is you do. You're still on somebody else's platform. So if you have a website, transitioning into the good reasons to have a website, you get to say what you want, however you want. You get to tell your story. If you have the blessing of having a potential customer come to your site, so like you got to do all that, like that. Yeah, do that stuff first. Like let people know who you are first. See if people even are interested in your product or your service. Most likely they are. Like if you're doing a business that is like, it's not, it's business that you see other businesses doing fine at it. Like it should be fine. Like unless you're bad at it, it's a different story. Or you're, rude, or you have a bad reputation. That's a big thing. When you have your own website, you can tell your own story. And this is where you can start thinking about, like, it's similar to writing, I think. Like, it's not a book. It's not a story per se, but this is your first chance to go and say, okay, well, what do I want? If a potential customer comes to me, what is it that I want them to know? And how am I trying to help them? So like I found that the best websites we make. So anyways, Symphony Advertising, we do websites, digital marketing. The best websites that we have built are the people that know what they do. They know what they do. They know how they do it. And they've been doing it for a while. Those are 3 points I just pulled out. I don't know. There's probably more. But the reason those websites are better is because they have experience, right? So just jump in a little bit, the 10-year one, right? So I just worked with somebody who's been in business for like, I think 8 years, but they've been doing very well. Like they got off to a good start. They're expanding. They're looking to do more. They have a shop, right? So we can go and take pictures of their work. They have a clear vision of what they want to do. So when we build the site, we know what we want to say, because they're like, okay, well, this is, they don't tell us exactly what's right, but they say like, my goal is to, get people's, this is actually for like a car restoration company. They're like, this is what we do. This is what we love. This is our passion. We have another business, but that's not really what we want to do. It's just what we do because that's what pays the bills. So we'd like to focus our efforts into getting this off the ground. And so it was very easy to like, oh, okay, let's do that. And then they had work, so we could show work that they've done, that it makes it easier for people to buy or to call them, because it's like, you've done good work. Not only do people say you've done good work, but I see the good work you've done. Not only do I see the good work you've done, but I've seen the years of experience that you have, because I can see and read, right? Reading is kind of like, is it true? Is it not true? But it's like, if I at least can see it and I read it, and if it's believable, like I have no reason not believe it, then that's a huge difference between just being some company on Instagram that's posting organically, which is not bad. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying this is an additional step to a point where, like, at this point, do I need a website? Maybe. It depends. So, because there's plenty of companies that you see, and it's true, like some companies, like they're just like, they're in the B2B space, and it's all about, going to golfing tournaments and building relationship, business development, like where you're calling on these people and stuff like that. So like, it's true that not everybody needs a website, but at some point you get to a point like where the question is, do I need a website? It's helpful. So like, just to take the golfing example where it's a B2B one, like, do I need a website? No, but if you give your business card to somebody and they're somewhat interested, and all you guys talked about was, golfing and stuff and just having a good time, when that person goes back, and they are actually interested in working with you, they might look up the site, and that site while you're not working, while you're not there to talk to them, that communicates what it is that your business does and how they can help, what they do for services, where they're located, how we can call them, some recent work that they've done. So it really, really, really does matter. If you get to that point. So like, I think when people think, do I need a website? It's because it's hard to take into consideration that your website is able to be places you're not when you're not able to be there also. So like, let me rephrase that. Your website is able to be there when you are not, right? That's what I mean. So like, if you have, let's say the same Instagram and the same Facebook page that our fictitious detailing company has been posting to get work from, they can stop cats, dude. They can oh crap, I gotta wrap up. They can you can add the link of your website to the Instagram, the Facebook, and someone can click on there. Even though they saw the photos, even though there's all this content there, they can click on the site and then they can get the most pure version of what it is that you want somebody to. If you look at homepages, that's why homepages are so important, because like, think about the best scenario for a potential customer. Like, what is the number one thing if a person came into a stadium and you were able to put anything you wanted in that stadium for that person to see, like, what would you put? And for me, it's like, put what you want to put. Like, if you're a detailing company and you are really good at doing car wheel washes, then it should say, we are the best car wheel washes in X state, right? And then below it should say, here are reasons we are very good. Here are pictures of us doing this really good job. We want to earn your business. For that, call us for a free consultation. And then that's it. You get to tell them exactly what you want to tell them. And it's not like you can't give them a 3-volume JK Rowling on it, but you can say what needs to be said. Actually, that is what you should be said. So at that point, do you need a website? I mean, no, you don't need it. But if your goal is to improve the chances of you closing new customers and getting more leads, the probability of your leads increasing by getting a good website increases dramatically if you have a good website versus A, if you don't have a website, and B, if you have a bad website. So there's also, that's also like, it's kind of a double-edged sword too, because like, it's possible for you to I'll make a website. You make the website, and let's say, let's just say functionality wise, it doesn't work. You're sending all this traffic to your website. Let's say you're running ads and everybody's interested and they want to check out like what's on the website, and let's just say it just doesn't work. Like, let's just say that, well, that's not good. Let's say you put the wrong phone number. Well, that's not good. Let's say you don't know what you're doing and it just doesn't work on mobile and you think it does. Well, that's not good. So there's all these things like that would hurt you. That would hurt you more than it would help you. And so the point is, if your goal is to get more customers, if your goal is to improve your probability of getting more leads and more sales, having a website is gonna help you do that. Why? Because it's similar to the social media. Like, it's gonna be there when you're not. It's similar to ads. It's gonna be there when you're not. It's gonna be going out to people when you aren't there. Some people look for information on the weekend. Some people look for information when they have the specific problems. Some people look for information when, in the afternoon. So it's like, what are the things that we can do that we can help our chances of being found? And when we are found, when a referral, an old customer of mine refers me to somebody, I want to make sure that before they reach out, because they're not just going to reach out every time, right? Before they reach out, they're going to check the website. They're going to check my social media. They're both important. They're going to ask their friend how it was. They're going to look. They're going to read. And you want it to be a good impression. And if it's a good impression, then you might get the call. But if it's a bad impression, or if it's bad information, or if it's a bad layout, or if it's bad photos as in like, it's like it hurts you instead of gains you. That's not the right word. It's all a nice little symphony of advertising. They all got to play. They all got to be together. So, do I need a website? It depends. But if you want to increase your chances of getting new customers and getting more leads, I would say yes. It's there when you're not there. It helps you rank on Google if you have a good website. And I always think about the cost. Like, do I need a website? Yes. Can I afford a website? Maybe, maybe not. So like I would, like it's not like I'm saying like you have to get. I wouldn't say it's the first thing you got to do. If you can start with one as well as social media, like you can do it. But that is for the new business that's been around for a year, 2 years, 3 years, or they've been doing it for a while but are really starting to get serious. So that, do I need a website? Maybe. So that's this video. 35 minutes is enough. I'm done. Oh my God, sorry, this Chick-fil-A. Yeah, Symphony Advertising, January 7th, 2022. Peace out.